Alright, so I am doing this way too early. It is 9 in the morning, or 9:50 nearly now, probably. And I am going to be making something for my boss. I made something for my boss's dog, now I'm making something for her. I know she'll like it because I mentioned it to her a couple months back. And she loves chocolate, she loves brownies, and she loves blueberries. So this is perfect. This is a chocolate chip brownie blueberry. Wait, blueberry brownie. It's too early for this shit. Alright, so a little bit of the ingredients. I've already got the spoon in there because I used it to stir my own coffee. We've got 2 eggs. This is all I've got out right now, but it's going to take 3/4 cup of butter. This is only half. So we'll get that in a little bit. Bit of salt, bit of baking powder. There's way too many ingredients for me to remember all the amounts. It was like a cup and a third of flour, 3/4 cup of cocoa. She says right before she starts naming everything. I've made this recipe a few times. This is full of sugar, so we're gonna put a ton of sugar in there. Not all that. And then this is all the chocolate chips I have, so it's gonna be a little bit less than what the recipe calls for, but that's okay. And then blueberries. Did I mention the vanilla? I don't know. A little bit hectic this morning, simply because I'm not awake. But yeah, so that's what all's going to be going into this, and I'll bring you guys in periodically to show you how it's all going and how it's supposed to look. Or how it's going to look for me, at least. Alright, so I've gotten to a little bit of a point. So far, all I've put in there is butter, coffee, and cocoa. After you do all that, you're going to want to stir it until it's incorporated and everything. Ooh, it's a little lumpy. My cocoa that I put in here, my goodness, this is my sleepy voice. My cocoa that I put in here was a little bit lumpy, but I don't have a sifter, so I just kind of got to mash it when I find it, and hope I find as many as possible, if not all of them. So, yeah, this is, and it's now 10:04, so I got work in 3 hours. Wait. Yeah, 3 hours. It's fine. I got this. Alright, but yeah, you're going to want to stir this. This is almost done. I need to see if I can find more lumps. And once I get all those out, it will be ready for the next part, which I think is sugar, eggs, and flour. Actually, it should be everything else, because the main thing is getting your clumps out of your mixture. Anyway, I will be back when I've got that stuff stirring. Alright, so you're going to want to add 1 2/3 cup of sugar, 2 eggs, and 2 teaspoons of vanilla. Now, I always add a little bit of extra vanilla, so I added 2 teaspoons and then just a tiny bit more since I'm making this for somebody else and not me, that I, don't know their taste buds very well. So for me though, I probably would have added a full extra teaspoon because I really like vanilla, but you don't want to add too much because then it just becomes gross. So once you do all that, then we still have the flour, the baking powder, and then the blueberries and the chocolate chips. Actually, we haven't even added the salt yet. So, but you're going to stir that, and this is actually almost done. I don't know the recipe by heart, and I didn't pull out my tablet to have the recipe on that, because I thought this was going to be a hard one to film. Alright, well, let me go ahead and get the rest of the ingredients in there, and I'll bring you guys back when I'm done with that. Alright, so this is going to be a little bit harder to stir and talk, so I'm not going to be doing that. It's very thick. So I might need... No! Stop. Don't sniff the groceries. My dog. But I added 1 2/3 cup of flour. I've only added a cup of blueberries so far, just to see how that goes. I've added all the chocolate chips that I have, and that should be it. Oh, and 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder. So that's all we've got in there so far. My dog is licking the floor. This is the morning, guys. This is how it is. It is now 10:22. I need to get to moving because I am almost at the only 2.5 hours left mark. And this takes 25 minutes to cook, and then we need to let it cool completely before we cut it. So, let me get to stirring. I will show you guys the final batter product. It's definitely looking like I'm going to have to add some more liquid, though. I think I went a little too light on the butter. I didn't mean to, but I must have. Anyway, I'll bring you guys back. Okay, so, this is the batter that I got to. It's still kind of thick, but that's okay. This is about the thickness that I usually get my brownies to. So you can see that you can move it easily. It doesn't drip easily, but it's nowhere near a dough. Well, a bread dough. So this, what I didn't add any extra butter. Today I added, I have frozen blueberries, and so when I warm them up before adding them into the batter, so that doesn't cause any issues. And so I added some of that blueberry juice from melting them into the mixture. It's going to make it a little extra blueberry. I am going to test it before I take it to my boss just to make sure that it's still, you know, good and yummy. But this should be okay. I'll let you guys know at the end, though. But this needs to go into here. Now, the recipe calls for a 9x13. That's what this is. But looking at it, I don't know how that's going to work. I think in the past I put it in an 8x8, but we're going to go 9x13 and see how it goes. Maybe it's supposed to go in this. I don't know. But I'm pretty sure in the past I've put it in a 8x8. So, I'll show you guys what it looks like after I get it in there. Alright, so I guess it did kind of fit. Oh, got a little schmutz right there. Yeah, it tastes good. If I die of salmonella, you know what killed me. So, it actually kind of fits. It's a little thin. You can kind of see how thin it is, but you know, that'll rise over time in the oven. So, 350. Can you see that? I don't know, guys. It says 350. I think it's 25 minutes. I will check before I put the timer on, though. So, let's just pop that on in there. Let's put it like that, because that's how I want to put it. And, yeah. So, I'm going to put it on for 25, I think. If I'm wrong, I will correct myself in the next little clip. But yeah, I'll see you guys then, when it's ready. Okay, so I've got it out of the oven, and it looks pretty done. The toothpick still comes out slightly damp, but it will dry out a little bit as it cools down here, and then I'll test it one more time. This is going to be a slightly damp batter, simply because it has the blueberries that, you know, you can't completely drain juice, and as you cook the blueberries, they're going to release liquid or moisture into your brownie mixture. So hopefully it's cooked. You can see the 4 little holes I made there. I cooked it for 20 minutes, and then the recipe calls for 25, and then I was like, no, it was still jiggling at that point, so I put it back in there for 3 minutes. and it was still slightly jiggly, and I poked it, and it was definitely not done. And then I put it in for another 3 minutes. Basically, I put it in there for 29 minutes, and I'm still getting a little bit of batter on the toothpick, but I decided that that was good enough. I could be poking a blueberry in there for all I know, or a chocolate chip. So I called it. It smells great. I decided that it was done based on the smell, and that's a lot of cooking, is learning what your cooking smells like when it's done. And once you can really smell it, that means that it's most definitely on its way to being done, if not already. So yeah, I'm gonna let this cool for about 10-15 minutes, and then I'm going to plate it up and have it ready to go to my boss. And I've already got the dog treats ready for Biscuit, and I'm actually freezing one of them because it melts basically as soon as you take it out of the fridge. I didn't show you guys that recipe. I might make it for you. It's super, super simple. All it is coconut oil, peanut butter, and a little bit of cinnamon. That's it. But anyway, I will leave you guys here, and I will take a picture of it all plated up, and that'll probably be the thumbnail, and, or this will be. I don't know. But yeah, thank you all for watching, and we'll see what next week brings. Peace out, everyone.